So, hello everyone! Welcome back to Half the Race Gone here on YouTube. As you may have immediately noticed, I am not DirtenDK as per usual, taking over the channel yet again. NS Zokyo here once again in the commentary booth. Glad to be here. Dirten unfortunately couldn't make it, so they had to find someone, anyone. I was the last resort, and that's why I'm here. So, hello and welcome to round 3 of TSR Tuesdays and the GT86 Cup. It is going to be some fantastic racing here today. We're already seeing quite a large turnout, so it's good to see. Of course, the TSR guys certainly know what they're doing when it comes to championships. So we are here at Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria. Relatively simple circuit compared to some, relatively quick as well, but it is certainly a simple circuit to learn, but a very difficult one to master. Let's see some of the entries that we have here today. We have TSR Wake, who's currently the fastest in the practice session at the moment in the Porsche. Of course, Toblerone sponsorship on that. I believe they are racing for Team Toyota. I need to quickly check that in my notes. Yep, indeed, which would make sense. So good to see that Wake is here, sporting some NES 2-year anniversary decals as well, which is something that's happened today. The NES has exactly 2 years old to this day, so some of the entries are sporting some decals, some have special liveries, so much appreciated to those who are taking part with that. TSR Stig, who is one of those with a special livery. Here you can see the bright green and yellow of the Nookshot Endurance Series colours on Kart 00. How it must pain him to be driving this machine, especially with me commentating over it. I apologise, Stig, if it is painful, but it is much appreciated. It's good to see that Stig is here, of course. Just checking my notes again. Stig is one of the Subaru entries on the team's championship, so interesting to note that. We have Sam Digby currently going through a pit stop phase in their GT86. They can see them G-Ready sponsorship heading out. So another contender for this one, Sam Digby, from the times of TSR GT300, what I remember, who's certainly one of the stronger guys from that, is probably still the same. So definitely one to look out for this. We have race driver Obi-Wan as well. A driver that I personally haven't seen race, but be interesting to monitor how good they are. They're currently in the top 4 in the practice session, so they could be a bit of a dark horse for this one. We shall see. As I believe that's TSR Joe 2 guy, formerly known as Joe of the Fire. So they are making their way around the second sector at the moment, also sporting a very green livery. So another potential contender for the race when there. Hello to all the people that are in chat at the moment. TSR T5 Black, Swablu, the meme lord that is mythical. Good to have you all tagging along for this. We're now watching Dr. Hash, the Hash Brown, in that Subaru sponsored machine. So of course, Team Subaru for them. Just gone up to second on the timing sheet has gone TX3 Limitless, who's purple in Sector 1, so they're looking like they have a fair bit of pace on them as well. Green livery again, not sure if it is, of course, Nookshot Green, as TX3 is also a green themed team, but it's certainly a very, very nice livery to see there. That's another thing that I like about TSR. You guys certainly know your livery craft. Here we see Martin, the man of 5 houses. He's making his way up on the second straight, heading up towards the hairpin, and again sporting under the green livery, should be certainly up there at the sharper end of the field. It's really interesting to see because so many very, very strong drivers here, and it's going to be really difficult to pick a winner before the race has begun, which sounds a bit obvious, I suppose. TX3 Aura, teammate, of course, to Limitless, they have managed to get within 3/10 or just over 3/10 of Wake's practice time. They heading up again towards that hairpin at the top end of the circuit, point of highest elevation. Of course, the altitude here at the Red Bull Ring does have an effect on engine power, at least in real life. Whether the game simulates that, probably unlikely, but of course the altitude with the thinner air, less of a bang in the combustion chamber. Plenty of marbles being built up already around the circuit as Aura exits to the pits. White flight here as well. So much green. It's going to be really confusing to see anyone if they go off onto the grass or something, but nevertheless, car 52 here of Team Cyan. Norwegian doing a good job so far in the practice session. Desert Penguin here as well, the American, with I believe that's my racing number of number 9, but nevertheless, I'm not racing, so I'm not going to complain about that one, DP. So I know the Team Cyan entry there. So you still have a few people in the pits, I believe. Yep, we have Hash in the pits and Shosser. Shosser is there. Several people all around. Qualifying is going to be getting underway in 3 minutes, as TSR Stig points out in chat. So, from my knowledge of the series, it's a one-shot format. I'll need to quickly go over my notes again here on the thread. At least it has been one shot in the past. Yep, Super Pole qualifying lap. So that's going to be very interesting to monitor. So thanks to all the viewers that have already joined the stream, of course. Hoping to get some action underway shortly. Just a couple minutes left until qualifying. Leave your thoughts actually in chat. Who do you pick as your winner from this lot, this very stacked grid? Who are you rooting for? Who are the fan favourites in chat? Because if it was DRL, it would be John Wandering, but John Wandering isn't here. So it's going to be interesting to see. Got some flame on the exhaust there on Wake's car. Luckily just a decal, the car isn't actually on fire. No, sorry, I can't do a Dirten impression, because last time I did that it went horribly, horribly wrong and I was shouted at. Ah, dear. But yeah, I'm gonna just do commentary my way, because that's roughly me knowing what I'm doing. Falling over my words already. This is going to be a great stream. I guess we can quickly go over the championship standings. Shosser currently on 50 points. I believe that was due to back-to-back wins. So they're at the top of the standings for Team Subaru, with Martin in second on 22 points. So Martin needs a race win and then some to catch up. Provided, like, Shosser would have to not finish, and that's also Shosser really cementing themselves at the top of the standings. It's Obi-Wan, who is in third on 20 points, Joe the Fire on 19 in fourth. It's a tie for fifth between Holstock and Wake, who are joint fifth. Joint for seventh are Dr. Hash and DSL Stig on 14 points apiece. In ninth it's TSR T5 Black, and joint 10th, it's a five-way scrap for 10th, all on 5 points each. It's Sam Digby, Welsh, Jim Jam, as I gave him the nickname, Ryan, and Whitefly, all on 5 points, battling for 10th. All Alonatron and Splurge on 1 point apiece, and Kurt yet to score. Those are your driver results, or standings as they currently stand, as qualifying is about to get underway here at the Red Bull Ring. So everyone's just making sure that everyone else can see everyone. In terms of the Teams Championship, I'll go through this now. It's actually Team Subaru leading the Toyota GT86 Cup at the moment on 104 points. How ironic that is. With Team Toyota on 47 points, so again a massive gap between Toyota and Subaru at the moment. The fact that Team Toyota has less points than Schossa has by himself, that is quite an impressive feat. The wildcards have amassed a total of 41 points, and Team Scion has only got 11 points. They're fourth in the team standings, or the manufacturer standings, more than likely. Some cars going onto the circuit now. So this is going to be that Super Pole qualifying that we was talking about earlier on. Regarding the actual format for that, we'll have to see. I believe it is just one shot, so everyone gets one lap. Everyone has to evenly space themselves out. It's going to be TSR Joe 2 guy who gets us off here. Just for the sake of qualifying, I shall include the race info with the speeds and such, as we are about to get this started. I'm going to go on board with Joe of the Fire, as he was previously known. It's going to be certainly a name that I need to keep putting into my head. But here we go. Uphill braking to turn 1 does help stop the car. You want to be quite wide over that curve, but not too much so that you would be off track limits, of course. Then the run up the hill can be a bit of a challenge in some of these lower powered cars compared to the likes of Group 3 machinery. Again, uphill braking zone does help as you go into the tightest corner on the circuit, the hairpin, that turn 2. Turn 2, turn 3, people still have debates to this day. Now heading up towards what I would deem turn 3, which is a very sharp right-hander which opens up, so you can get on the power quite early through there. Joe doing a good job. Then going for the tighter line as he needs to get on the right side for the infield section, which is this little complex of a double left followed by a smooth right leading onto a straight. Very difficult to wring all of the car's performance out on a circuit like this. A bit of a downhill braking zone for the second to last, and then a very downhill braking zone for the final corner. Very easy to run wide. Joe just about nails it. That is a lap of the Red Bull Ring. It's going to be a 1:35.570 for the Joe 2 guy. What can TSR Jimmy do? Not enough. Aura goes fastest with a 1:35.453. Wake goes third after that with 1:36.636. plenty of sixes in that. But still quite a bit off the pace, and Ryan does take third away from them in car number 69. Runs straight into the wall, but that is a 135.570. As I think that's Joe the Fire. He's just registering stuff weird with the times and stuff, but Limitless up to fourth with a 136.409. There's still a few cars left to actually complete the run. You see Kurt actually into the barrier on the inside. Obi-Wan only manages 9th fastest. White Flight still making their way around. Jimmy there. So what can Sam Digby do? He's going on to a lap now, so he's still got a lap to go, technically. So we're gonna see what White Flight can do, the Norwegian. He's making his way through the final sector. It's going to be close. I don't quite think it's going to be a pole time from him. No, not quite. It's a 136.750. That's enough for 7th at the end of things. And now there's just 2 cars left to run. It's Kurt and Sam Digby, although Kurt's just reset to the pit lane again. Here we are watching Sam Digby making his way through sector 2, heading up towards that infield section, which is all about rhythm and timing. Very smooth inputs needed as well with the Toyota GT86. At the moment it is looking like Aura is going to be on pole position here. Oh, Digby with a bit of a slide. Heading onto the straight, that's going to kill their straight line top speed. And indeed, they seem to have backed out of this lap, looking at the telemetry. So they are not quite going to be there. Which is a shame, because even after that mistake, they might have still been able to have qualified a bit higher than they ended up doing. But it is TX3 Aura who takes pole position here at the Red Bull Ring, with the Joe 2 guy in second, with Ryan in third. Here is your live timing of qualifying then. So Aura just about a 10th clear, and in fact Ryan and Joe 2 guy have exactly the same time to the 1000th, but the game registering Joe 2 guy as ahead. So that is unbelievable scenes right there. Now I don't know whether the game's just decided to put Joe ahead because J comes before R in the alphabet, or some kind of trickery like that. But nevertheless, he is registered as second. You can see a bit further down the order, Kurt, not setting a time, will be starting at the back of the grid because of that, I believe. And no, Nezor Racing, I am not Dirten. I have not had an accent change. I am Zokio. I am the substitute commentator you might want to describe me as. They couldn't find anyone else, so they got me in for this. Alright, I'll switch to race info only. And of course, the slide fest has begun here at the Red Bull Ring. Everyone trying to burn their tyres to get rid of a bit of excess weight. Not sure how it's going to help them in the race, but we shall have to see about that one. So just going to quickly go through some stuff in chat. Ryan say couldn't see some people at some time. Martin, hello. Nice to see you here. Calster, nice to have you along on the stream as well. And of course Nezo Racing saying hi to Dirten. And not me, but that's fine. Plenty of green all around the circuit. Of course, hashtag NES News Day. We has taken over just for today, so don't worry about it. You'll be having regular TSR action from next week onwards. Everything will be back to normal. Still fantastic to see the turnout here. 15 cars on circuit, that's a full house considering I'm in the commentary booth as well. So the TSR guys showing once again why they are a fantastic series. Of course my time racing with them as well in the GT300 championship, one of my highlights of the racing career, if you could call it a career really, as there's contact between Obi-Wan and Joe. 5-second penalty for that one. But yeah, they certainly know what they're doing. A fantastic group of people, and we're going to see that translate to action on the track with the race coming up. Again, to all those people that have recently joined chat, leave your submissions to who you think will be favorites of yours to go on and win this one. Who are you supporting? All of that good stuff. Now, if I recall correctly, because of his 2 back-to-back wins, Schlosser, who has indeed qualified down in 8th, so it certainly reflects he's on 6% ballast here, so he's going to have to be very, very careful in the braking zones. There you see Schlosser's car here. Yellow flags being waved by the marshal. He's probably going to have arm ache from that sooner or later. Someone running into the wall. Of course it was Ryan. So Schlosser and Obi-Wan being supported by Nezo Racing in chat. At the moment it's Aura at the top of qualifying standings by about a 10th. So that's why the qualifying was messed up and it didn't register the gap between Joe and Ryan, because there wasn't one. To the 1000th, the exact same time. Do we need to go to the 10,000th? Polyphony? If you're listening, if you're watching, which you probably aren't. Nevertheless, oh, Aura apparently purple in sector 1, what? Getting weird, plenty of yellow flags going off. Oh, look at the banter that's going off here. Now the GT86 is a very good drift car, admittedly. So we're seeing a bit of that put on show for us right now. So we're seeing Ryan and Kurt going a bit straight on. They're going the wrong way around the circuit. Why not? I'm going to quickly go over the ballast of the other guys. Going to quickly pull that up on some of my notes here. So I know Schlosser is on 6%. And let's see what everyone else is on. Would it be on the notice board? Yep. So Martin is on 2%. So is Obi-Wan, and Wake and Hobstock are both on 1%. And of course, Schlosser on 6%. that is everyone who has ballast. As the TX3 lads find each other on circuit again. It shouldn't be too long now until the start of the race, I believe. And indeed, as soon as I say that, TSR Stig gets things rolling, and we are about to have some action here. With things getting underway. So, here is the grid then. Aura on pole position, Joe second, Ryan third, Limitless fourth, Wake in fifth, Hash Brown in sixth, White Flight seventh, and Schossa in eighth. We're about to get racing here at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. Green, 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 and the cars are off. Plenty of green as well, as you can see. Aura has a very good start, covers off Joe off the line. They make their way into turn one. It looks like, yep, Limitless is also looking to the inside. Couldn't quite find it on Joe, and that's allowing Ryan to also come into play. They're up alongside as they make their way up towards the turn two hairpin. There's plenty of scrapping going off in the back as well. Looks like Limitless will have the inside line.com and just about manage to get himself up into third place to retain that position. A bit further back here you can see as the leaders start to go a bit more single file. Hash in fifth. Coming under pressure from White Flight, are they? No, not quite. As Ryan looking to go down the inside of Limitless. Will he be able to get it done? Limitless will have the inside for the next section. Indeed, having to go back single file. Perhaps a little bit of a cutback maneuver. Not quite enough for Ryan on that occasion. A bit further back in the pack, here you see the likes of Martin and Desert Penguin, plenty of scrapping going off for 11th at the moment. As you can see, Jimmy leading this little pack at the moment. Digby having to make up a bit of ground there, battling with Kurt, and it looks like Digby has managed to get that position, so Digby to 13th, looking all over the back now as they're going on to lap 2, as Limitless goes a bit wide, and perhaps that will allow Ryan to have a bit of a run going up the hill. And again, Wake in the slipstream of Obi-Wan as well, so plenty of scraps going off already throughout the order. Fantastic to see. Wake looks like they have a slightly better exit, but not quite enough to capitalise. Aura starting to get a bit of a gap already. Joe having to go defensive on Limitless, having to defend that inside line. Limitless looking for a bit of a cutback, well covered off by Joe. Ryan trying to capitalise on Limitless, who's constantly attacking at this stage. Aura is indeed starting to drive away into the distance a little bit. It's turning into a bit of a battle for second. But nevertheless, there's still more fights going on as White Flight looking to get a move done on Hash. See, just about alongside, no, can't quite get it done on that occasion. Looks like Wake runs a little bit wide in the background. So they go up towards the start finish line, pretty much nose to tail again as they go on to lap 3. So plenty of action already, and especially in this backpack as well, with Jimmy leading this. Sam Digby looking a bit desperate to get by, so Digby's made up quite a few positions. looking very racy indeed. He wants to get past Jimmy as fast as he can so he can get to the group up ahead. And meanwhile, Joe has lost a position. He's lost 2 positions actually at the hairpin. Let's see what happened to Joe. So he already lost a position to Limitless by that point, and Ryan getting it done at the hairpin. So that's Joe the Flyer now demoted off the podium, but he's still looking very, very close indeed. Looking back to 5th as well. White Flight there at the moment. Hash still pressuring the Scion ahead. As White Flight goes a little bit wide, Martin as well. Might have lost a little bit of momentum, but they all pretty much stay as are. Actually, Wake looking to the inside of Obi-Wan. And they're side by side as they come up towards the second to last corner. Who's going to be the leader on the brakes? It looks like Wake manages to get that move to stick. So that's Wake up into 7th. Will Obi-Wan be able to make a bit of a counter attack? We'll have to see. It's currently a TX3 1 and 2 at the moment. Martin asking in chat about pit stops, qualifying, all the stuff that has been memed about before to me. As there's more of a scrap here, as Ryan's now looking to try and get a move done on Limitless. Limitless, not the best of exits, having had to go defensive. Ryan looking to put his nose down the inside. Joe looking to see if he can go with him. Side by side, coming up to 3. Oh, a little bit of onion barges between the two. Just a slight nudge. Has Ryan outbroke themselves? No, they haven't. Great overtake there by TSR Ryan. And it is no longer a TX3 1 and 2. Both guys still on the podium at the moment though. Will Joe be able to capitalise on scrapping between these pair? You see the cars making their way through the infield section. Ryan having to go defensive a bit. Limitless looking still a bit early in the race to be completely sending it. Where's Stig? That is a very valid question actually. I'll quickly check down the order. Stig is currently 12th. He's battling with Jimmy in 2 very green cars. Making their way up towards the start finish line again. So scraps throughout the order pretty much. As now look, Ryan coming under big pressure from Limitless. Limitless down the inside of the hairpin. And he's taking Joe with him as well, as he looks like Ryan has managed to hold on to that position. And now it's Joe battling it out with Limitless. So Limitless trying to get a position. Has he lost one in the process? They're making their way down. Joe's going to try and make a move on Ryan, is he? He has an understeer into him, so that could have worked out for him. He's still there alongside the next section. He'll be on the outside though. Very difficult to make that kind of move stick. Indeed, Joe. Oh, he's got his nose there, so he's looking for a bit of a cutback as he makes his way through that section. And yes, Dirten does indeed sound funny today, doesn't he? Thanks for noting that in chat, Ethan. So Joe still side by side with Ryan. He's still looking to get the move done. All this is just allowing Aura to get ahead, and it looks like Ryan has just about managed to hold on to that position. And now look, Joe still looking to make a move. Are they going to make it 3 wide? Not quite. Limitless decides to stick behind for now. Ryan looking to try and go on the outside of Joe the Flyer, and he gets it done as well. What a move that was. And Joe will have the slips from going up the hill again, but Limitless will be on the outside line as well. We'll have to see. Joe brakes slightly later. Limitless still just about there. He runs off the circuit a little bit. Has to slot into position. And will he be able to mount a bit of a counter-attack? I would check some of the battles a bit further down the pack at the moment, but this is the highest position battle at this stage of the race. And I think they're going to be single file for a little bit through here, so we'll check some of the action a bit further back. White Flight they see in 5th, Hash in 6th, Obi-Wan 7th, Wake making their way up in 8th, Martin in 9th, Digby still a little bit off the pace at the moment as we have a bit of a scrap for 11th between Desert Penguin and TSR Stig. See if we can catch this. It looks like Stig just about managing to hold onto that one under the pressure. It's got a little bit more of a comfy gap. As there's a car off, there is a car off. That's Kurt. So what's happened to Kurt here? Is making their way round the infield section. They just took far too much speed into the gravel, and the car got into a bit of a tank slapper, clipped the grass, and straight into the gravel trap. Unfortunate stuff for TSR Kurt. That's really dropped him off the back of everyone. 6.6 seconds the gap between Aura and Joe, so Joe has managed to get himself up into 2nd. Limitless in 4th at the moment. He's looking down the inside of Ryan, is he? Ryan, a little bit of a slide. Bit of a tap from Limitless. Still side by side as they're making their way up to the infield section. Oh, looked like Limitless turned in a little bit early as he's ran off the circuit. Limitless off the circuit into the gravel. He's got to make a safe rejoin here, and he's a little bit dodgy. Luckily, no contact. Oh, Wake very nearly running into the back of him. So that has put Limitless out of this scrap at the moment. Joe has started a breakaway from White Flight, has he? Has one. Has happened to Ryan? What happened to Ryan as well? He just seemed to start going slowly for some reason. That was very odd. Maybe he made a mistake as well. Yep, F's out in chat as Traels has accurately said. Plenty of cars going wide at turn 1. Easy to do so. So Joe the Fire, the only survivor really in that battle for 2nd. As we have side-by-side action here between Hash and Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan down the inside. It looks like Hash is going to try and stick alongside him. Yep. Here we go then. Who dares to break the latest going into turn 3? It is a downhill braking zone. Hash brakes slightly later perhaps. Obi-Wan manages to still hang it round the outside. Will Wake be able to benefit from this as well? Obi-Wan will have the inside for the next section. This is really backing up the train as this two-way scrap. Looks like Hash has gone wide, and that's allowed Wake to go up the inside as well. Wake takes a position from Hash. Hash really starting to pull back a little bit now, coming under a bit of pressure from Limitless, who will certainly be looking to get back up the order as well. So again, a couple cars going a bit wide. There's a little bit of contact there. Limitless trying to get a bit of a run on Hash. It's not quite worked. Hasn't got enough of the slipstream advantage. Although he's going to try his luck down the inside as he... Oh, that was Ryan, I think, who seemed to have a little bit of a go. He's currently 8th in the standings. As, look at this, that is Limitless going down the inside of Hash. And Hash goes over the curb a little bit. That unsettles their exit, although they're still alongside it. It looks like Limitless slots in. So somehow Hash is managing to keep this second position, fighting for it with all his life. Limitless still going around. Oh, little clip of the gravel that might put Ryan into this. Those two were battling out for second not too long ago, and they're scrapping at it again. Here you see Ryan trying to go around the outside line.com. Hasn't quite worked out for him. He'll be looking to capitalize on any sort of mistakes. So easy to make mistakes when in a train like this. As there you see Hash, bit of a poor exit or something. They're being overtaken around the outside by Limitless. They run a little bit wide, perhaps realizing that they won't be able to take that. They drop back, and that has allowed Ryan to get through. So here it was again. So Limitless, who ran wide and then a little bit wider from TSR, Ryan couldn't really get himself back on the circuit because the car was there. There's still fantastic scraps going on. Now it's Ryan versus Hash. This seems to be where the main clump of cars are at this stage. It's currently being led by White Flight. Here you see of Team Scion, another bright green machine, of course supporting NES Newsday. I'm going to claim that anyway, just because it's green. Might not be anything to do with that whatsoever. Probably isn't. What does it matter anyway? It's fantastic racing we're seeing here. Look at this again. Ryan coming under a bit of pressure from Limitless. So Limitless looking to get a bit of a counter-attack. Will Martin be able to capitalize on this as well, as they're making their way up towards the penultimate corner? Still doing a good defensive job at the moment. Oh, they've run wide. Will that affect their exit? There. Stupid keyboard. We finally got a rear wing cam here on Ryan's car, so you can really see the kind of pressure that is coming under. Oh, runs a little bit wide, going through turn one, so he is feeling the pressure a little bit. You see up ahead as well, that is Dr. Hash. And look at this, we're seeing a move down the inside from Limitless, and that's Hash sliding, oh wait, Ryan sliding rather, and he loses out that position. We're going to have to see a replay of that one. So Limitless down the inside at the hairpin, there you see it, and there you see the slide as he go up onto the marbles on the exit of the course. So Limitless back up into 7th. Mine couldn't really make the most of that. He's still clinging on to the back of the train in 9th. These guys starting to spread out a little bit more. It looks like Wake is going to be the next one to perhaps make a move. It's only the closest pair on track at the moment. Making their way around. It looks like Obi-Wan's getting a little bit pressurized. He's in the pressure cooker at the moment. These are, well, they're Group 4 cars. It's not technically a GT4. Traels in chat. So technically, it's based on GT4 regulations, but not officially official, if that makes any sort of sense. So we are 11 laps down, we're on lap 12 at the moment. We still have plenty of cars very close together. Bit of a rundown of what's happened so far. So Aura of TX3. They are currently race leaders, nearly with a 10-second advantage over second place Joe 2 guy, also known as Joe of the Fire, with White Flight making it a 1, 2 and a 3 for the green machines at the moment. Obi-Wan in 4th, the first of the non-green machines, with Wake 5th and Hash in 6th. Limitless, who's just made a move on Ryan to get himself up into 7th, Ryan demoted down to 8th because of said move. Martin down in 9th, Stig seeming to have had a bit of a poor start to the race. He's still in a bit of no man's land at the moment, trying to make his way back up to the train. He could certainly still be en route to do such. I believe it might have something to do with tyre compound. I'll quickly check that. Oh, wait. There we go. Oh, he's picked up damage. So that would explain partly why Stig is slightly off the pace at the moment. But he is on mediums. Also with damage, here you see, it is Desert Penguin. So front aero damage of Stig and the rear damage on Desert Penguin's car. You got to think it might have had something to do with it, collision wise. Although front damage for TSR Jimmy is also running a bit lower down. He's on Racing Hards, interestingly enough. Here we see Sam Digby, who hasn't got damage. And someone who has got damage is Kurt. Of course, he did go off into the gravel trap earlier on. So we'll be looking to get that damage repaired at his next pit stop. So here we see White Flight coming under a bit of pressure from Obi-Wan and making the way through the final corner on circuit. Obi-Wan running a bit wide. Also, further back, they saw the likes of Hash, I believe, that was running wide as well. So it looks like Limitless is going to try and make up another position here. He's down the inside of turn 1. Somehow Hash manages to hold on. The outside line does give himself a bit of better exit speed. Oh, that was a bit of an aggressive shouldn't. Almost side swipe from Limitless. That was a bit odd, as now look, Ryan is starting to come into this as well. He's having to defend from Ryan while also trying to attack Hash, and it's almost worked out for him here, as Limitless does indeed move up into 6th place. Here we see it. There's the cutback. And it worked out for him. Limitless still under a bit of pressure though, as here you can see Hash still battling it out with him, looking to go down the inside line. Can't quite get it done. Ryan also looking to get on the inside of Hash. And they're still side by side through the infield section. Still a little bit of onion barges, just light contact. I doubt anyone would have picked up damage from that. Down towards the second to last corner, Hash has the inside line, and it looks like Ryan has to give up on this attempt. Perhaps line something up for the next sequence. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, Wake and White Flight, who was overtaken by Obi-Wan momentarily, he's back down the inside. There's contact between the two of them. So what happened here? So Obi-Wan was ahead, and then it just looked like, yep, White Flight down the inside, and then the contact on Apex. It actually looked like Obi-Wan might have turned in a little bit too early. Wake is also now ahead of Obi-Wan, probably because of him running a bit wide. But it's a three-way scrap for the final step of the podium at the moment. Wake looking to the inside line. Can't quite get it done. They go single file yet again, making their way through turn 3. So Wake still looking to put the pressure on, going on board with the Belgian. Here we go through the second to last corner and the final one coming up. See the marbles again building up. Look how close he manages to get without touching as well. He's just set himself up for a good exit as we have first pit stop. That is TSR Ryan going into the pits. So they are on the soft compound of tyre. Now what will they be changing on to? Will it be the medium, will it be the hard? Because we've seen both of those other compounds used here. I'm still not 100% familiar with the rules. He's fueling up. It's a fair bit before the half race distance marker, which is lap 19. He's gone to the medium, which is interesting. Now where will he rejoin? I think he's going to rejoin ahead of Jimmy. Yep, there you see Jimmy. So he's not going to be held up by traffic or anything of that like then. So perhaps a good strategy call here, because Ryan in clear air. Now, when will Aura pit? He's got a 14-second lead here. Yeah, choosing to stay out still at the moment. Not really under pressure from anyone in order to make a pit stop. Joe will find the closest challenger, as we said, 14 seconds behind. White Flight a further 8-ish seconds behind. They're coming under pressure again from Wake. Making their way through. Wake's on the inside. He's just about managed to get that one to stick. Or has he? Little bit of weaving on the straight just to try and break the slipstream, break the toe. I think it's worked for Wake, as he has indeed managed to get himself up into the final podium playing position. Which you got to think at this point the only one up for grabs. Another pit stop. This time it's Obi-Wan. Now where's Obi-Wan going to rejoin, as we have an off? Trying to see where that is on circuit. Here it is. It's Desert Penguin who's gone off at turn 3. They've left the lobby, so unfortunate to see a retirement, as I believe someone else is in the pits as well. Are they? They've exited. I believe that was Kurt. Yep, Kurt on an outlap now. Scrap for third still on. Wake ahead of White Flight now, so I'm going to quickly see if I can replay so much has happened in all of this. No, he was already ahead, so my apologies for missing that one. So much happening, very difficult to keep track of it. This is why we have a Dirten, as Joe makes his way into the pits. So he's probably going to try and cover off any sort of undercut from anyone else. A Limitless also joining him in the pits. Promoted Wake up into second temporarily. White Flight to third. Stig, who was, I believe, the highest of the medium runners, usually goes for those alternate strategies. Now where's he going to rejoin? It's going to be close between him and another car there. It's him ahead of Joe, so Stig gets ahead of Joe because of strategy. Joe will be on what compound? He's on the mediums, and we'll compare those to the very worn mediums on Stig's car. There you can see him combined with the front aero damage. Stig is going to have a very hard time trying to keep Joe behind him. As race leader Aura makes his way into the pits. Now, will he actually be able to get ahead of Wake on the pit stops anyway? In fact, yep, because he's already exiting the pits. Is he? Nope, that's someone else. My apologies. Here now. He is going to be let out shortly, as several other cars making their pit stops. Wake in, Whitefly in, Hash in. This is the dead-on halfway marker, lap 19 of 38, so makes sense. Now, how will Stig benefit from this? They're on the start-finish here, so Stig has temporarily got himself up into second place on this strategy. He's gonna have to do his best at holding up the guys behind, as it looks like there's a little bit of a scrap going off between Jimmy and Digby. Let's see if we can catch some of that. Or was it just close? Yep, Jimmy did have a little bit of a look. I think it was just close on circuit. It certainly seems to be the closest bit on circuit. A bit of a cluster of cars up ahead. Jimmy's still dealing with that damage and on the racing hards as well, so he's doing a good job managing to keep up with Digby, even though, yep, well, Digby on a softer compound as well as not having damage, so that's really good effort from Jimmy. Here we see Limitless at the front of this sword train that's forming again. It contains himself, Hash, and Wake. As I think we've just had another disconnect or something changed in the order momentarily. And my apologies if I've not been monitoring chat as much as I probably should have. It's been very, very action-packed so far. As here you see more action. Is this going to be the moment that Joe manages to get up alongside Stig and make the overtake? Of course, Stig yet to pit. He went for the mediums at the start, and indeed Joe managing to get past on the straight. I don't think Stig's going to make his life too difficult. So Desert Penguin in chat there. Dern himself actually joined us on chat, so I missed that as well. Bother. But nice of him to have joined us momentarily for that. Ethan, yes, I did use the term onion bargee. You can find more great puns like that over on my channel, but let's ignore that because Wake is going down the inside of Hash. Oh, little bit of contact as the back stepped out on Wake's car. Flash of the lights from Hash. We're going to have to see a bit of a replay on that one. See him going down the inside of that. Still getting used to the keyboard and such. As Martin is scrapping away with Jimmy at the moment. Interesting to see. Was there an overtake? Nope, but here you can see them going side by side up towards the section here, the infield. Martin just about managing to hold on around the outside line.com. Obi-Wan just off of the podium positions at the minute, but he's going to be catching Stig. You got to think so anyway. He's purple in Sector 1. His last levels are 136.0. Keep that in mind. 138.3 from Stig last lap, so that's 2.3 second gain that Obi-Wan took out on him on that lap alone. So no doubt Stig is going to be really struggling on that one set of tyres and with the damage he's been suffering with for quite some time as well. Look at this, Limitless going down the inside and gets up position. Wake also looking to get a bit involved as well. Gonna see if we can capture this a little bit better with the replay. So here it is, the send of the century from Limitless down the inside. Nice work from them. White Flight trying to get the cutback. Wake was there to try and prevent that, try and see if they could benefit as well. So Wake has actually lost out a position, had they, because Hash has managed to get ahead of them. There's a fantastic scrap going on at the moment. Here you see Hash now gets ahead of Wake as well as White Flight. So White Flight's really lost out on this. Wake weaves into the path of White Flight, and there's a little bit of contact, I think, between those two. There's a bit of a weird movement from one of the cars. So Wake's still trying to put the pressure on at the moment. Also there you see Ryan starting to come back into this one as well. Ethan in chat, no, I don't think anyone ordered that, Onion Bargy. We have another pit stop. I'm not sure who it is. It is Sam Digby. So one of the medium runners deciding to go on for a stop. So interesting camera angle. I don't think I've seen this in a pit stop before. They've decided that they're probably going to switch tyres, I predict, to the softs. Wake and Hash still going at it. So Hash ahead at the moment. What's Wake going to do? Are they looking to the inside? No, not quite. Stig also goes into the pits now. So this seems to be the window for the medium tyre runners. Wake all over the back of Hash right now. Gonna be feeling that pressure. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? White Flight also under a bit of pressure from Ryan. And here you also see Limitless hasn't managed to really escape from this fight. Wake, bit of a late move to the outside line there, as Limitless also runs a little bit wide. As I think we nearly saw something about this scrap as well. In fact, we're about to see something. White Flight being challenged up the inside. I'm surprised he didn't defend the inside there, although it looks like Ryan may have outbroke themselves looking for the cutback. Sam Digby has left the session, so another retirement. And look at this, Ryan's still alongside, and he manages to get the move to stick in the end, despite a bit of a defensive cutback at turn 3 from White Flight. Couldn't quite hold on to it. And these guys are literally super glued together at this stage. They might as well be. You could throw a sheet over them. Limitless, Hash and Wake, of course, they're making their way onto lap 24. Separated by around 3/10, if that. Now will Hash be able to do something here? Can't quite. Everyone's staying single file at the moment. Now Limitless is the only car in this train that isn't benefiting from the slipstream, so they will probably be at a disadvantage from that, or will be attacked. So fantastic scrap to watch, I have to say. Hash can't quite capitalise there. Oh! It looks like they and Limitless were a little bit unstable going over the exit curb. So they lose a bit of momentum. Coming down towards turn 3. Again, no one can really benefit from that, or can they? Because look at that, Hash has managed to find his way alongside. He's going to try around the outside, is he? Oh, contact as he turned in on him. We're going to have to see a replay of that one. Here we are, Hash's perspective on this. So we're watching. There you see the contact. Very lucky to escape without damage on that occasion for both cars. So Limitless still... Oh, actually Wake has managed to get past Limitless. Can we see that? That must have happened just after that contact. But Wake has managed to get himself up to 4th from that. So very good drive by the Belgian at this stage in the race. Here we see Hash coming under a bit of pressure. Purple sector 1. But Limitless really lost out on that previous lap. He's looking to try and find his form again. Going up to turn 3 yet again. Gonna see if he can make something stick. Can't quite. I don't think he's close enough at this particular point. He needs to focus on catching before making a move. Current fastest lap of the race, by the way, at 1:35.334. That was set by race leader TX3 Aura. They have been on an absolute mad one. Here you see him again, last lap 1:36.3. They've really been flying out there today. Pretty much unchallenged. Closest rival, the Joe 2 guy. And actually Obi-Wan's starting to catch up to Joe, it would seem. So that's a gap that we're going to have to keep on monitoring. Wake, of course, 4th, Hash 5th. Limitless is starting to drop back. In fact, all 3 of these guys are starting to space each other out. As look at this, Ryan and White Flight going side by side into turn 1 as there's another pit stop. So making their way up, and we're gonna possibly see Lord Stigworth get involved with that as well, are we? Oh no, he's a bit further back. Good that then. I think that's the car that's lapped down. That stupid replay function. Apologies for that. White Flight loses a position to Ryan, so Ryan up to 7th, White Flight down to 8th. I'm now intrigued as to who the other car is. I think it was, yep, okay, it was Kurt, who's gone a lap down. It's 2 laps down from the leader. So closest battle on track at the moment is certainly TSR Ryan versus White Flight, 3/10 in it. And plenty of gaps that we've seen fluctuate throughout all of this. Battles coming and going, and we've still got 12 laps of action to go through, and as we have seen in the past with these races, they do tend to come together in the end of things, so could certainly see that happen again. A little bit wide on TSR Ryan's part. They're starting to get a little bit of gap over White Flight. Not enough to break the slipstream. I should note the slipstream was recently updated to be 1.3 seconds to get it on the real setting, as opposed to 0.7. So a little bit of a change up with that, and White Flight has managed to catch up a fair bit. as they went through the hairpin, and now heading down towards turn 3. Again, we've seen plenty of moves done there today. White Flight just biding their time at the moment. So a little bit further up the order. Hash and Wake are starting to close up a little bit. Currently watching that scrap unfold as well. Very, very close. So it just takes one little slip up from anyone here, and that would be the battle won or lost. That's a new personal best lap from Hash. Let's see what it was. It was a 135.664. So that's only 5/10 off of the current fastest lap of the race, which interestingly enough set by TSR Stig, who is down in 13th, not 9th, there he is. I had to check the standings for a second there. So yep, new fastest lap from Lord Stigworth. He is on the softs and with a lighter fuel load as well, but nevertheless, he's going to be making a charge as he comes up to the final third of the race. Joe, they've really been caught up by Obi-Wan here. Here you can see the gap, 6/10 of a second, 7/10 of a second, fluctuating. And again, Wake and Hash, this gap has also really come down. So 4th isn't safe, 2nd isn't safe, 1st is looking quite safe at the moment, but you never know until it's over. Actually, even further back it looks like 7th might not be safe. Yep, indeed. So 7th is also a scrap that's happening at the moment. Stick with this one for a bit, as it is for the highest position, for 2nd place on the podium no less. Racing driver Obi-Wan in the slipstream of the Joe 2 guy. Indeed, no one is safe. Rockstud. Or however you pronounce that. Nice of you to join us on stream, nevertheless. The gap between the leader and second, 22 seconds, nearly 23 seconds. You can expect that to expand as this scrap starts getting a bit more heated, as we're seeing overtakes here between Hash and Wake. Look like a little bit of a challenge. We'll have to see a replay of this one. So it's going down into the infamous turn 3. We've seen plenty of action there. Bit of a blue flag also showing as well. Look at this from Hash. Sending it around the outside, just runs a little bit too deep on the marbles as well. Couldn't quite get it to stick. Battle for 7th still on as well, with White Flight 3/10, 2/10 behind. Really all over the back of Ryan like a bad rash at the moment. Obi-Wan still just biding his time a little bit, waiting for opportunity to overtake. I'm going to monitor the tyre situation here. So Obi-Wan on very worn softs versus Joe on moderately worn mediums. So it could go either way really. I think as it continues to go on, Obi-Wan's pace will continue to drop, so better get something done and fast. Wake still having to fend off Ash. Will Hash try the same thing here? Not quite. Wake covers him off. They stay single file. Making their way around through the infield section. And still extremely close. Of course, these GT86s being less aerodynamically dependent, it does certainly help with keeping the racing close. The lower power also helps with that, of course. But unlike in Formula 1 and such, higher downforce motorsports, the car's able to follow so much closer as Wake runs a bit wide. It's going to allow Hash to get down the inside, but as you can see, it allows for such close racing. Really shows the skill of the drivers, as well as Hash manages to get it done before needing to turn in, so that is a move and a position up for Hash. Will Wake be able to get a bit of a counter attack? We're going for what I believe in half the race gone terms is the Wang cam. You can see a bit shaky over the exit curb again. Has caught out many drivers in the past. If it was a more powerful car, perhaps would be a lot easier to spin. But Hash doing a good job controlling the car's power. Again, a little bit of contrasting lines. You can see Wake behind taking a bit more of the exit curb through 3. And a bit of a later apex from Hash, so he's certainly not feeling under pressure. He's taking later apexes. Meanwhile, I believe, yep, it's within 0.2 of a second right now, so we need to be checking this out as well. Joe to Guy, and race driver Obi-Wan fighting it out, making the way onto the start-finish straight. We've got 7 laps to go, I believe. Making their way up the hill again, and actually, let's see here. Ryan under a bit of pressure, and Stig has managed to catch these guys. Stig has been flying on that set of softs they changed onto. So that's certainly not over and done with for him. Stig really with a decent shout here of making up some positions, especially now that he's probably got the damage fixed, has he? Yep. And he needs to make the positions fast, as we said. The softs do wear quite quick. Can't quite find his way through on that occasion. It looks like he won't quite be able to challenge through here either. It's through the corners that is going to benefit the most from the tyres, as it would make sense. So great little scrap going on at the moment, as I think Obi-Wan and Joe also close again. Hash and Wake. See, this is the issue with 3 different scraps happening all at the same time. Which one do we watch? Wake extremely close to the back of Hash on that occasion. Meanwhile, Limitless is sort of in between this scrap and the one with Ryan and Stig and such, as the overtake is being made, is it? By Obi-Wan around the outside of the hairpin. Gonna see this be done. Here you can see a little bit of onion barges again. And on the brakes, just manages to get it done on the outside. Manages to hold on through there as well. And it looks like Wake is going down the inside here of turn 3. Manages to get that one stopped beautifully. You can see just ahead before the braking zone again. It really does help. So plenty of position changes in these closing stages. I said things would start heating up. as Stig has also benefited with a couple of position gains, has he? Again, apologies, I can't quite catch everything. But Stig has managed to get himself up to 7th now because of those fresh tyres and that unique strategy call at the start. Has hindered him slightly with the picking up damage, of course. Could have been so much more for Lord Stigworth. But I don't really see him getting much higher than 6th. You could still catch Limitless. Limitless currently holding on to 6th. There you see them. They're on very worn mediums and they're understeering off. So I'm under the impression that Limitless is going to really struggle going into the final few laps of this one to hold on, really. I have to see. It is still a personal best by them through Sector 1, which is odd. Perhaps it was the running wide and just staying on the throttle or something. Here you can see Joe. Now that Obi-Wan's managed to get ahead, you can see the worn mediums and the worn softs, but the softs are still the softer compound, hence the name. And so Obi-Wan does just have the pace over him. It's starting to gap Joe. So Obi-Wan looking very solid for second at the moment. Wake making his way around to the final corner. Hash still there putting the pressure on. It's been a fantastic scrap between these two all race long. Wake in the Torsha, Hash in the bright white machine. And again, could be a case of can they make anything up on the slipstream. We're going to monitor the speed here and see what they can get up to. Wake brakes a fair bit. He wakes out, broke themselves, and down the inside goes Hash. It looks like Wake might be able to just about hold on to this position though. They're still side by side. The interesting dynamic about this track is you can be on the inside or the outside and you still don't know who's actually going to win the position. Wake running a little bit wide and it looks like... Is he? No, not quite. Yep, he is. Hash is officially ahead. Wake doesn't have his nose in anymore and that is position gain for Hash. Yes, Ethan, I guess you could say that Obi won that scrap. Oh dear. This community is Dirten's and not mine, and I am somewhat not regretting. Nah, of course not. You guys have been fantastic throughout the race. It's been a great one to watch so far. We're coming into the dying stages of it, but there's still so much left on the line. Here you can still see Hash and Wake battling it out. Hash ahead. And it looks like Wake is just about getting alongside again at the top of the hill. It seems like Wake's car has been set up with less downforce or something, although I think it is stock setups here as Hash gets his slide McGee on. Bit of a poor exit. Yeah, it just seems that Wake's Torsha has a bit better acceleration or something. Perhaps Hash is running with some ballast. I may have mentioned it at the start. As actually Obi-Wan isn't getting away from Joe either, so has Joe got a little bit left in the tank as well. See if he can catch up. Well, he runs a little bit wide going through that section, but Joe is starting to make it seem like the battle for second isn't over. It certainly isn't. Checker flag isn't out yet, lads. Still 2 laps of racing to go here at the Red Bull Ring. Also, if you've enjoyed the action so far, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And also, there you can also see in the background, Wake and Hash, that scrap is actually catching the scrap for second. So it could be a 4-way scrap by the end of things. Meanwhile, I've just noticed Hash, or rather Stig, has managed to make the overtake work on Limitless. Will Limitless be able to try something again? They're down the inside. I have got the replay up when needed. I think Limitless might be able to look Stig on the softer tyres, and it does indeed look like he gets that done. I'm going to see this here. This is the initial overtake then, so it's just on the exit of the final corner. Stig managing to get it done. And Stig still ahead of Limitless at this stage. So good job by them. I did predict that they would be around 6th, but I don't think they'll be catching Hash by the end of this one. But Limitless really struggling on those tyres. Actually, all the cars looking quite low on fuel, but I'm sure they've got enough to make it to the end. As the leads are on the final lap of the race. Where is Aura? Aura has been lapping cars. That's how fast they've been going. 30 seconds up the road from the German. Look at this kind of performance here. Absolutely commanding display from them. Countryman Obi-Wan currently in second. Starting to get that gap up again between them and Joe. And here you see as well Wake and Hash. This one is going down to flag. As also, of course, Ryan and Whiteflight, another scrap that is continuing to develop, as well as still plenty of stuff going on all across the track. Look at this, Wake having to defend from Hash. Side by side. Will Hash be able to break a little bit later? He's going for broke. Side by side again as TX3 Aura wins the race. So congratulations to them. We still have plenty of scraps to watch. It looks like Hash has just about managed to get himself in front. Will Wake be able to do anything? We shall have to see. It looks like Hash might just be able to hold on to it. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan does indeed take second, Joe will take third, and Hash does indeed come out on top for the scrap for 4th. So Hash takes 4th, Wake 5th at the end of things. TSR Stig, in the end, comfy margin over Limitless. 6th, the maximum they could have got from that. The Limitless was certainly in the wars a little bit in this race. Has to settle for 7th by the end of it. Ryan comes home for 8th. They also see Whiteflight settling for 9th. 10th place goes to Jimmy as Martin. Here you see them a lap down by the end of things. Kurt as well. But here you see TSR Jimmy, the final car to make his way across. Oh, bit running wide there. He slows down, celebratory weaves, and he takes the checkered flag. Not quite yet. Yep. There we go. Good stuff to see. Congratulations to TX3 Aura on an extremely dominant performance there. It has to be said. Pole position Not quite the fastest lap, clean race, pretty much lights to flag victory. That was certainly an action-packed one. Hope you all enjoyed it. As I said, if you have, be sure to leave a like, it helps out the channel quite a lot. TSR delivering the goods yet again. Here are your final race results then. In the end, 31 seconds between Aura and the next car, which was Obi-Wan, who took second. Joe looked like they was good for second for a while, couldn't quite hold on to it due to the strategy, so has to settle for third, but still a podium result for them. Hash with a fourth place, a fantastic scrap with them and Wake throughout this one. Stig managing to use an alternate strategy to find himself up into sixth place. Limitless, again we mentioned, was scrapping away throughout all of the race, pretty much with someone. In the end, he lost a little bit too much time and finished 7th. Ryan 8th by the end of proceedings, a minute down on race leader. White Flight, also another great scrap there between Ryan and White Flight has to be mentioned as well, the Brit and the Norwegian. Jimmy, the last to finish on the same lap as the leader, so good effort from them. Martin finishes a lap down, and Kurt, I believe 3 laps down by the end of proceedings. And some retirements there, including Sam Digby and Schlosser, and I believe Desert Penguin was the other one that is unlisted. Whew, that was quite something, lads. Quite something indeed. Hope that I did a somewhat alright job at that. I'm, of course, not too regular on the channel here. Of course, I'm no DirtenDK, but I'm something. But I think that the main focus, of course, should be on the drivers and the fantastic show that they put on for us here today. Thanks to all the viewers that we've had throughout the stream, currently on 12 post-race. We've had plenty of action throughout chat as well. People saying that their thumbs hurt, some fantastic puns, some fantastic banter. Hope you've all enjoyed the stream pretty much. I would do interviews, however I am completely dead at the moment, so apologies for that. However, again, I'd like to thank everyone for putting on a fantastic performance, for joining us in chat. Thanks again for tuning in to Half the Race Gone. This has been Zokyo. I'm part of the Half the Race Gone team, and until next time, signing out. Bye guys, have a nice day.